Press box atop Dolphin Soccer Park on the campus of the College of Staten Island. CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II men's soccer coverage live on the ECC network. In today's second matchup of our East Coast Conference doubleheader, the College of Staten Island men's soccer team takes on the Molloy College Lions. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joe Foreman, once again joined by Nick Durst, bringing you all of the action during today's game. And Nick, in the women's game, a lopsided result in favor of Molloy College. They defeat the Dolphins 6-0. The men's soccer team will look to avenge that defeat that the women suffered earlier on the day.
Yes, certainly the Dolphins here looking to have a strong performance here, and so far in the season, well under 500. I believe they're at 3-9-2. But the good news is here they're going to finish out the season with all home games. Today, of course, they're playing Molloy. Thursday, Caldwell, and then next Saturday they'll be taking on Bridgeport to wrap things up. So looking to end the season here on a winning note, and we will see what kind of impact the wind has here. And we were looking at this current situation here where the rain has held off at this point in time. It's getting very windy here, though. Chance of showers later on today, specifically around 5:30, 6 o'clock. We'll see if anything comes a little early here. No sun in the sky at this point, Joe. Clouds all over, so we'll see what kind of impact that has. And currently on the campus, the wind is blowing south to east at 11 miles per hour.
Well, the weather has certainly gotten colder. I can feel it up here in the booth, and the sky has gotten much darker. Our cameraman has already contacted me from on top of the roof to find out whether or not he should prepare to bring the camera inside should the rainfall begin. But taking a look at the forecast, as you mentioned, Nick, no rain in the forecast until later tonight. So it looks like the men's soccer team will get this match in ahead of any inclement weather. And you mentioned it before, the Dolphins come in with a record of 3-9-2, 1-5-1 in the East Coast Conference. For the Lions, they come in with a record of 8-6-2, 4-2-1 in the East Coast Conference. And for the College of Staten Island, they come in now winless over their last 5 matches dating back to Wednesday, October 13th. Since then, a tie against Felician University back on the 13th. The Dolphins dropped a match at St. Thomas Aquinas, at Goldie Beacom, at Damon, and then tied at home once again here on Wednesday. So 5 straight matches without a win for the College of Staten Island. For the Molloy College Lions, they come in having dropped their last match at Nyack, and they're looking for their first win in their last 3 matches. So both teams hoping to get back into the win column here this afternoon, and an opportunity to do that in just about 5 minutes.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, goal scoring is the name of the game. And the Dolphins here, they have not scored much this season. 10 goals, averaging less than a goal per game. And they are allowing 26 goals, obviously. They're negative 16 there in the differential. And that's been the key factor here in a lot of the losses. They just haven't been able to muster enough offense. When they do, Joe, they scored 2 goals in 2 games, and guess what? Of course they won both of those games.
This Dolphins team does play some defense, as you said, Nick, but they have 3 wins on the season. In 2 of those 3, the Dolphins have scored a pair. The only match they've won scoring a single goal came on Saturday, October 9th at Deauville. And for a Dolphins team really struggling to find some offense, it has come lately in the form of Larry Diggs finding the back of the net. Diggs leads the College of Staten Island with 3 goals on the season. He did score the team's lone goal against Roberts Wesleyan on Wednesday following a key Red Hawks turnover that put Diggs one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Diggs found the back of the net. That gave the Dolphins the 1-0 lead, but CSI would surrender the equalizer just a few minutes later and would ultimately tie with the Red Hawks in double overtime. Shane Siegel, the only other Dolphin with multiple goals this season, he has found the back of the net twice. Several other Dolphins have scored once. But for this Lions team, as we mentioned, they come in with an 8-6-2 record. For them on the season, they are also carrying a negative goal differential into this match. 18 goals for and 19 goals against. These two teams do play some defense. Perhaps we have a low-scoring affair on our hands this afternoon, but for the Lions leading the way In goals for Molloy is Peter Meyer. He is followed by Jesse Schleeper. They actually share the team lead in goals. Both have found the back of the net 5 times. So those are some names to look out for both sides as the rain is beginning to come down here at the College of Staten Island.
We better get Sean ready to run.
With that, Nick and I will step aside and take a break as we get our camera situation sorted out. We have to try and protect the camera from the elements. So when Nick and I come back, coverage of this game, a ECC matchup between the College of Staten Island and Molloy College. Stay right here on the ECC Network.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island. Be sure to check out the Kettle Black's monthly
Stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
And we are back here on the ECC Network. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Nick Durst. And in just a few moments, the College of Staten Island will take on Molloy College in an East Coast Conference matchup. Earlier in the day, the CSI women's soccer team dropping their match with Molloy 6-0. For women's soccer, it was senior day. Marsada Pelinkovic honored during pregame, but unfortunately the Dolphins couldn't pick up a win for their senior and failed to get into the goal column once again, as the Dolphins' struggles continue heading into what will be their final match of the season next Saturday. As for the men's soccer team, they're looking to get back into the win column as well. It has been quite some time since the Dolphins picked up a victory, their last win on October 9th at Deauville. So with starters about to be introduced out on the pitch, I will bring the starting lineups for both teams to you. First, for the visiting Molloy College Lions, in numerical order, the starters for Molloy: number 2, Gennaro Velarde; number 3, Oscar Magnuson; number 5, Orlando Zambrano; number 6, Ali Murch; number 10, Jesse Schleeper; number 13, Petey Meyer; number 14, Andy Blanco; number 19, Jonas Jacobson; number 25, Danny Muir; number 45, Matt Lea Vittel; and number 77, Nick Conklu. Starters for the College of Staten Island in goal will be number 1, Omer Hamzazebi. The rest of the Dolphin starters in numerical order are as follows: number 3, Dennis Cotticelli; number 7, Nilton Gonzalez; number 10, Shane Siegel; number 11, Nicholas Kashenko; number 13, Brandon Figueroa; number 14, Stephen Branco; number 15, Larry Diggs; number 22, Michael Rofale; number 23, Brian Navarro; and number 27, Tariq Eastman. The Dolphins are coached by John Tardy, and the Lions are coached by Tyler Bott.
And Joe, two noticeable people missing from the Dolphins starting lineup, Daniel Angulo and Leandro Angulo. And why don't you explain for everybody why we will not be seeing them play this afternoon?
So in case you missed it, we talked about it during the women's match and during CSI's last match. But Daniel Angulo is in the midst of a 3-game suspension. Angulo accrued 5 yellow cards on the season, which is an automatic 1-game suspension. Then, in their Dolphins match, back now 2 matches ago, Angulo was issued a pair of yellow cards that resulted in a red. So Angulo, going into the Dolphins match at Damon, had accrued 3 yellow cards on the season. He has issued 2 more, bringing his total to 5. Those 2 yellows also adding up to a red. As a result, Angulo missed Wednesday's match against Roberts Wesleyan, misses today's match against Molloy, and will miss Thursday's match at home against Caldwell University. Angulo eligible to return on November 6th for the Dolphins' final match of the season. As for Leandro Angulo, much more straightforward. He picked up his 5th yellow card of the season on Wednesday against Roberts Wesleyan, and he will miss today's match against the Lions. Now, I'm not sure if we are breaking for the national anthem because this is game 2 of a doubleheader, and we are not. So, in just about a minute or two, we are set to get underway. College of Staten Island taking on Molloy College, and the Dolphins wearing their white uniforms with gray horizontal stripes and Columbia blue shoulders and socks with silver shorts. The Lions wearing maroon uniforms with white lettering and numbers, though the men's kits appear to be a bit lighter than the women's kits. Not sure the 2 teams wearing the same uniforms.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here to see. And the last time we did a game together, it was tough for us to read the kit numbers from far distance, but we'll see here. Something I want to point out here is Nicholas Kushenko, who is playing for the Dolphins side of the starting lineup. Looks like he either has a broken arm or a wrist. Fortunately, in soccer, you don't have to worry about that too much, but any incidental contact there, I'm sure he'll be grimacing in pain, so we'll keep an eye on that throughout this afternoon.
Kushenko once again sporting a cast on the left hand and wrist. He was wearing that on Wednesday as well. Didn't seem to slow him down at all. Kushenko, a big part of what the Dolphins have done defensively this year. He's also found the back of the net once, registering a goal on a header against Bloomfield in one of the Dolphins' 3 victories.
Certainly going to have to step up big time today with Angulo and Angulo both out. And Kushenko does have a goal this season, and there'll definitely be some opportunities for him this afternoon to register a point with him having to play a bigger role this afternoon.
So the Dolphins are huddled to the left of midfield. The Lions have assumed their positions to the right of midfield, and we're about to get started here from the College of Staten Island. Dolphins and Lions in the second half of today's East Coast Conference doubleheader. Larry Diggs sporting gloves, black gloves.
Smart guy. When I play any sports in the cold elements, hands and feet they're always the coldest things here. Feet will stay warm. He'll be running around, but when you're playing a game with no hands necessary, you might as well keep them warm and keep the rest of your body warm as well.
Diggs will get the first touch of our match once the head official blows the whistle. Not sure what the delay is, and we're underway from the College of Staten Island. Dolphins possess it first. This is Codicelli. Codicelli back to Gonzalez. This is Rofale. Back to Codicelli. Nearby was Magnuson, and Kushenko sends it back to his keeper, Hamza Zebi.
And as you projected, Joe, we did start this game before 2 p.m., a 1:56 p.m. kickoff.
Not by much, but we did get opening kickoff in before the 2 o'clock hour. As Kushenko has it once again for Staten Island, this is Rofale. Rofale moving towards midfield. Sends it to Eastman. Eastman back to Gonzalez. Dolphins taking their time, working east to west along the back line. Kushenko, long ball toward Branco. He was looking to redirect for Diggs, but it's broken up. Lions quickly turn it over back to Staten Island. And Hamza has it. Hamza for Gonzalez. Gonzalez surveys and gives it up to Kashenko. Now Figueroa.
Hamza Sebi in the Cespedes green kit today.
Now, is that to you neon green or more Volt yellow?
Could be a mix. I would lean more neon green though.
Interesting, as I was trying to figure it out on my own in the booth last time. Much harder to find things to talk about when you're up here on your own. As it will be a punt upcoming from Nick Conklew. He sends it a long way toward the Dolphins' goal. Waiting for it and getting ahead on it was Schleiper.
Interesting. Very far shot there from the Lions keeper. And we'll continue the joke going. Lions keeper wearing the signature Dolphins pink kit.
That will be a running theme throughout the season. Those uniforms baseball wore in the spring were unforgettable in my estimation. As the Lions now have a chance brewing, and that shot partially blocked by Rofel. Blanco wound up and fired, and another shot is saved by Hamza.
Nice job there by Hamza to get his hands on that one. That one was coming in hot.
So the Lions generate an attack following a punt that traveled the length of the field. That set the ball into the Dolphins zone and forced Staten Island to try and get it out of there. They've been very deliberate moving the ball around along the back. And the Lions' pressure generated a couple of shots there. Dolphins cutting it close on some of those passes. Ball now with Kashenko once again. He sends it toward Codicelli. That's too long.
I know we got a second here. We'll take a look at that save here once again. Nice job to stick with it, foul through the traffic, get both hands up, and knock that one away.
So Hamza with a big save early. And here come the Lions once again. This is Schleiper. Schleiper trying to send it to the middle of the box. He has a man, and taking it out of the box was Meyer. Meyer from Murch, and it's redirected by Blanco to the far sideline. Leon moves in, cross headed away, and then that one is sent high and make that Weir.
Ooh, that one was kicked to Victory Boulevard there, Joe.
That was some shot, as it was Muir who sent the cross in, and then the shot was launched high. Dolphins will attempt a goal kick. Must have missed the goal kick because they are moving it laterally once again. East to west. Move the Dolphins along the back line. And the Lions will clear. That last shot, saved by Hamza not too long ago, was attempted by Oscar Magnuson. That was the first shot attempt from Molloy, and then on that last sequence, trying to get a look at who it was who attempted the shot, and charging in was Blanco to attempt the shot. Lions retreating back toward midfield just a bit, and they will regroup. Orlando Zambrano Jr. wearing that yellow armband. He is the Molloy captain. He wears number 5 and has possession right now. As that is redirected by Magnuson. Giving chase is Jacobson, and Kashenko clears.
Good job there by Kashenko to get to the ball first and clear it. And we'll see what happens here on the throw-in for the Molloy College Lions. Lions, I like their kits here. Nice and clean. The white's very easy to read, and they're all wearing long sleeves. I think it's smart.
Long sleeves, definitely smart, as the sky has gotten darker, obscuring the sunlight, and tripping over the ball there was Murch. And that's turnover for the Lions. Here come the Dolphins the other way, but definitely in favor of the long sleeves on this day, and always in favor of easily legible numbers. throw-in for Molloy when the action resumes. Along the far sideline, long throw in towards Schleeper in the corner. Knocked away by the Dolphins. Lions will throw again.
Lions coaching staff barking orders here. The gist of it is who's going to win the fight? Who's going to win the first fight here? We'll see what that ends up meaning.
Long throw headed away and over the touchline by Staten Island. So it will be a corner kick early on for the Molloy College Lions. Our first corner kick of the game. The Lions already with a pair of shots on goal and another that I believe was blocked near the top of the box in a dangerous position. So the Lions will look to make it another scoring chance right here. Jonas Jacobson lined up to take the corner kick, and you can see those corner flags really whipping as the flag post looks like it's pending in the middle.
Looks like he's having a tough time placing the ball as it keeps blowing out of bounds. Referee tell him to get it back in bounds, and not much more he could do. It's going to keep blowing, though.
Yeah, we saw this issue present itself on Wednesday as well. Corner kick takers having a hard time lining it up. As Jacobson sends one toward the far post, headed by a Lion and unable to get another shot off was Molloy. That was headed by Peter Meyer as it's sent back into the middle of the box, looking to turn with it, and firing a shot that is saved was Schleeper. So Schleeper able to make the turn. He put a shot on goal, but Hamzazebi up to the task once again.
Well, great job there by the Lions on the corner kick to get it into the front of the net, but Hamzazebi there once again to make the save, and so far he's been the story early on here for the Dolphins, keeping them in this one.
Hamzazebi faced a lot of shots early in the season, and I was taking a look at some of the stats for men's soccer ahead of today's match, and I said it during our last broadcast as well. He and Bugari Sissoko have really split the goalkeeping duties so far this season. Both have started in 7 matches. Today marks Hamzazebi's 8th start. But despite playing the same amount of matches heading into today's game, Hamzazebi had faced 40 more shots than Sissoko, 101 to 61.
Certainly getting tested early and often here today as well.
Dolphins possess it along the near sideline. And Branco has it taken away by the Lions, but Molloy sends it right to Nilton Gonzalez. Also, Hamzazebi saw his save percentage increase by about 5% following Wednesday's match against the Red Hawks. He moved from saving just under 71% of the shots he's faced to about 75.
And you wonder if he played the majority of the games here rather than just half, where he could be in the ECC amongst saves leaders for goalies, because as we mentioned earlier, the Dolphins are certainly allowing many shots this season. They're allowing 14.4 per game and 202 coming into today.
Surrendering more shots than they have taken, that's for sure, and you can see the results of that in the goal disparity between CSI and their opponents, 10 to 26, as we mentioned during the pregame. Long throw-in once again was taken into the box. It's cleared away by Staten Island. And headed up into the air now by Eastman. Waiting for it was Diggs. Siegel is also there for CSI. And that one was sent over the far sideline. It will be a Lions throw. And we have 2 balls on the field. And the Lions doing the ball runner no favors. That's the second time they haven't given him the ball back over the fence. And down goes Jacobson, and the Lions wanted a whistle. They didn't get it. The Dolphins moving forward toward midfield. Here comes Rofail. Rofail sends it a long way toward goal, and that's an easy play for Conclu.
11 minutes in here. Dolphins being outshot 3-0.
We saw women's soccer wait until about 17 minutes into the second half to pick up their first shot in our early match. Men's soccer hoping this game follows a much different script. The Dolphins try to win it back in the midfield from Meyer and could not. He sends it over to Jacobson. Now Murch and back to Jacobson. Lions working it toward the far sideline. That was Mir who went down before, not Jacobson along the far sideline. Mistakenly said it was Jacobson who went down when the Lions petitioned for the foul call. This is Nilton Gonzalez and now Nicholas Koshenko. Dolphins have been very methodical working the ball out of their own zone. Perhaps out of respect for this Lions attack, they've been very careful with the ball. Staten Island will throw in. Codicelli toward Diggs. Diggs to Branco. Here comes Branco. Dolphins looking to take it into the box for the first time. And
that was headed for our colleague Joe Mash's car, but I believe he's pulling out, so he did avoid getting hit.
Did he avoid it because he was in motion, or?
I think it was right before he pulled out. The Joe Masha SID spot that you have right next to the soccer field.
That's what we'll call that spot. As that's headed up into the air toward the box and out of the zone by the Lions. Dolphins send it back to Gonzalez. Lions pressuring. Nice dribbling by Gonzalez in the midfield. And he just set up an attacking play. Here comes Branco. Branco working against Jacobson. And Jacobson knocks the ball away. But Rofael takes it back. Rofael moving in. Avoids a challenge. Left-footed shot is high over the crossbar.
Overall, a good possession there by the Dolphins in order to apply some pressure onto this Lions defense. Shot, though, unfortunately, goes high, sails over the net, and the Dolphins remain without a shot on goal here.
For Staten Island, that is their first shot attempt of the match. As you mentioned, Nick, 3 shots on goal for the Lions already. That accounts for 75% of their shot attempts. They are out shooting the Dolphins 4-1 overall. Here come the Lions once again. That one is chipped up ahead for Leah Vittel, and he gets by his marker, but a good recovery by Gonzalez. And Gonzalez continues to battle for possession as it's sent toward the middle of the pitch and intercepted by Staten Island before it's headed out of play by Zambrano Jr. I didn't catch it early in the match. I was actually looking to see if the Dolphins had a new interim captain, and that new interim captain for today's match is Nilton Gonzalez. So Daniel Angulo suspended, Captain Leandro Angulo for Wednesday's match is suspended, and now Nilton Gonzalez assumes the captaincy for at least one match here this afternoon. Koshenko did a good job to get a foot on that and whiffed on the clearance, but he's backed up by Eastman. This is Magnuson. Now Murch. Meyer. Over to Mir on the far sideline. Now Leah Vittel moving in. His shot is blocked. That was a strong shot by Leah Vittel.
Goes sailing wide, going sailing all the way to the sideline there, and Lions in a good spot here for this throw-in. We'll see if they follow the strategy of the Lady Lions and try to throw it deep into the box. Looks like that's what they're going to try to do.
No doubt about it. You can see how far away from the line Mir was positioned, as petitioning for a foul call was Schleiper. He thinks he was pushed as he posted up in the box.
That's what the Dolphins like to see, a throw-in directly into the hands of the goalie.
Can't ask for much more than that if you are CSI in that spot. As the Lions look to attack once again. Figueroa challenging Leah Vittel, and Rofael comes over to help, but the Lions take possession back. Moving left to right is Magnuson. He gives it up to Meyer. Meyer against Navarro. Cross far post, headed away by Eastman. Comes down on the foot of Rofale, and it is cleared away by Codicelli.
Good job there by Eastman to intercept that crossing pass, knock it away, and ultimately end the possession there for the Lions.
Dolphins have done a good job defensively so far, still trying to find their footing on the attack, and will look to do so right here as Shane Siegel moves to the attacking third. Here comes Siegel toward the center of the pitch, looking for Branco. That ball right on target. Branco moving in, and his shot was partially blocked. That will earn CSI a corner kick.
Huge opportunity here for the Dolphins to get their first shot on goal. We have the upcoming corner kick here as our content creator does a nice job of retrieving that ball and passing it into the corner for the kick.
Marquise Pickering multitasking behind the net as he's getting the shot right now. Michael Rofale's corner kick headed away by the Lions. Waiting for it is Eastman, and they got a piece of that shot by Eastman, did the Lions, and it's chipped up in the air twice. And on the second chip, it travels halfway up the bleachers. And another fail trying to throw the ball in from the crowd is
Joe, the wind conditions, Joe.
Angulo muffed the catch, the one-handed grab over the fence.
Well, he is a soccer player. He's not used to using his hands to catch the ball.
You're right about that. As the Dolphins earn another corner, that one pinballed around down in the corner off of a couple of Lions, and CSI right back where they found themselves just moments ago. This time Figueroa to take the corner.
Marquise once again right there to get the good shot.
And the corner is sent to the top of the box. Rofale is there. His shot is high and wide as Conclu went soaring through the air to try and get to that one and couldn't get there.
Kenneth Garcia here going to check in for the Lions, and he's going to replace Matt Laya-Vittel.
Laya-Vittel out and Garcia in. Lions have it in the midfield. And that redirection attempt by Garcia intended for Muir, and Garcia was wondering where his teammate was as that ball wound up over the touchline. Dolphins will throw. Eastman takes it, headed down by Garcia. Over to Blanco and into the arms of Hamza Zebi.
Hamza Zebi really winds up before he tosses those balls underhanded to his teammates. Almost a bowling type of stance there.
Here comes Rofale moving out of his own zone into the midfield. Looking for somewhere to go with it. He finds Codicelli. Codicelli for Diggs. Diggs giving chase, but getting to it first was Zambrano Jr., and I think he just sent that one into the woods.
That one might have went all the way to Willowbrook Park, which is behind us here. Luckily, no one was driving by. It's going to be a tough retreat for one of our ball runners here to get that one.
Well, I just saw a ball rolling toward the fence, and our sheds, our equipment sheds, and Brendan Guzman trying to help the ball runner locate that one in the woods. He's in the top row of the bleachers taking in the action with some of the women's soccer team.
Looks like potentially one of Dolphins softball players are going after the ball.
Charging into his own bench there was Schleeper, and the Dolphins will throw.
Joe, we've yet to have a ball come into the booth here in the new Dolphin Park.
You'd be wrong about that, Nick.
Ball has come in. Wow.
We did have one come into the booth. It was JC's first day on the job in the room to my left. He was doing some work on stats, and his introduction to the booth was a ball coming straight through the window and into his lap.
Wow. Well, better the soccer ball than the baseball, which you and I had come at us and attack our audio system.
That was the demise of our original mixer, a story I've told many times here on the air. Figueroa battling with Meyer for possession and is whistled for a foul.
So was JC able to throw the ball all the way back to the field from here, or he just dumped it off and let
I
somebody?
believe Sal attempted to throw it back.
Sal, we hope he's doing well, recovering from his surgery.
I actually heard from Sal during our first game. He vowed that this time next year he will be returning to the court for the Fin Night Madness three-point competition, but not ready to come back yet after knee surgery.
And we would hopefully like to see Joe Masha make his debut in a three-point competition.
I don't think you will see that. You're more likely to see me make a comeback, perhaps me and Sal teaming up next year.
You may be contractually obligated.
We'll have to talk about that. As Branco moves across midfield and gives it up to Navarro. This is Figueroa. Over to Siegel. Siegel on the far sideline, moving in toward the center of the pitch, working at the perimeter of the box, charging toward the touchline, and he sends that one off of his marker, and Mira's protesting, but to no avail. It's a Dolphins corner kick.
Third corner kick here for the Dolphins, evening up with the Lions.
Corner kick sent toward the corner of the box where Figueroa and Rofel are waiting. Figueroa's cross far post, too long for Gonzalez. Gonzalez will turn, and he sends it off a defender as well. That one deflects off of Jacobson over the touchline, and this will be another Dolphins corner kick.
Smart move there by Gonzalez. Planted off the defender to go out of bounds, off the tire of the Infinity behind the net. And Marquise is really working hard here. He's got to go get the ball. The other ball's back finally from the Woods. So we'll have the Dolphins corner kick.
Marquise doing it all right now. Creating our content on social media, getting some game day photos, chasing soccer balls. As Figueroa's corner is taken toward the near post, and the entire Dolphins bench, as well as every Dolphin out on the pitch, wanted a handball call. They do not get it. I see Nick queuing up the replay. We'll get another look in just a moment.
We'll see if our videographer Sean was able to capture that, and we will certainly slow it down for you as well here to see if we can get a good view of the next stoppage we have here.
Nick is a maestro on the controls, and if there is a good view of that play to be had, we will provide it to you in just a few moments. As that's headed along the near sideline by Branco and into the stands. So.
And that means it's replay time, Joe.
I'm getting a look at the original feed as well.
Slowing it down here. Close to tell, but I do think it was off his head, so I do not believe it hit his hand. But maybe it hit his upper arm, though.
Upper arm is a handball, so we'll see. I have it playing at .25 speed in front of me right now. So
the replay is about .5, so keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, I'll get another look at it in just a moment and provide you with a definitive call from up here in the booth. Meanwhile, it's a free kick for Molloy in a dangerous spot, so I'll have to pause my feed on my laptop, and when the action resumes, the Lions will attempt this free kick from well into the attacking third. It's Oscar Magnuson lined up over the ball, and the head official, I thought perhaps was going to move the ball, instead takes a look at it and is content with what he sees.
Everyone anticipating a kick to the far post here.
That one is sent far post, but too wide.
Not sure why the Lions there wouldn't just go ahead and try to shoot that straight to the net. Dolphins backed away with the wall, left one person there. But Oscar Magnuson still goes for the far post and very wide, and it goes out of bounds. We're going to have a goal kick here.
I think the way the Lions were aligned along that far post was a bit of a spoiler as to what their strategy might be. As that one is back into the arms of Hamza Zebi. .25 speed, it's taking a while, but I'm about to get another look at that potential handball. Perfect timing here with the stoppage, and oh boy. That was either off the thigh or the hand. It's even tough to tell at .5 speed, but the Dolphins certainly had a case. It's not as if they were clamoring for a call that had no merit whatsoever. It was awfully close.
Sean doing his best job there to zoom. As we know, Sean does like to zoom in intense moments.
It was a handball, Nick, 100%. 100%. I just slowed it down. I was actually at .5. You slow it down to .25, it was absolutely a handball, and the officials missed it.
So if...
Speaking of potentially missing a call, the Lions bench now incensed after the flag goes up for offsides.
But going back to that non-call on the handball, that was crucial. That was in the box. That would have been a penalty kick and could have been looking at a 1-0 lead here for the Dolphins.
Unfortunately, the officials don't have the benefit of a replay at 1/4 speed, but upon review at the slowest speed we can, that was absolutely a handball, and the call was missed. So the Dolphins possess it now in the attacking third. This is Rofale moving in. He looks to shoot a lot from this spot. Moving in toward the top of the box, gives it up to Siegel. Siegel getting forced towards the corner. Nowhere to go with it. Looking to cross, and it's into the arms of Conklu.
I'm sure post-game, not that he needs any confirmation from you, but you will let Coach Tardy know that it was indeed a missed call.
He did come up to the booth earlier this season for a review on what was ruled inbounds late in a game. I'm trying to remember exactly what game that was. I think it was one of the Dolphins' losses. I'd have to look back at the schedule, but there was a controversial call in a game earlier this season where the attacker for the opposition may or may not have dribbled over the touchline along the far sideline, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. As here come the Lions on the attack, and they try to send it in front, but the cross attempt by Garcia was knocked away. And I'll wrap it quickly. As I was saying, an attacker for the opposition moving along the far sideline may have dribbled out of bounds. The Dolphins relax a bit, thinking that they were about to be awarded a throw. Instead, play continues, and the ball's taken all the way down into the box and shot on goal and scored. That was ultimately the difference in the game. Not sure what match that was as I look back. I believe it was against District of Columbia, a 1-0 Dolphins defeat. Here's the corner kick, left-footed corner, and getting a foot on it was Schleiper on the corner kick attempt by Jonas Jacobson, but the shot by Schleiper is high and wide.
Ball runner is going to have to go quite a distance for that one, as that one went all the way to the street there on the deflection. And replays are going to be very crucial soon. Let's hope my peers can handle it with basketball season, because it'll be the first official D2 season where they will come to us for review. I know I've helped the referees many times with reviews, but we'll see if everyone else is up for the task this season. A very important part of engineering for CSI Sportsnet.
Let's hope we don't find out if they are up to the task or not, except in the positive, as the Lions try to cross it into the box again, and the Dolphins will take possession and move toward the far sideline, where Siegel promptly turns it over. This is Garcia. Now Mir. Schleiper now sends it back, and it's headed by Kashenko. Here comes Navarro. Navarro moving into the midfield. Navarro for Siegel. That looks like a good ball, but getting to it first was Mir. Now Rofale working against Blanco. Whistle blows. And it will be a foul against the Lions. Dolphins take the free kick quickly. And Eastman finds Figueroa. Figueroa will look to shoot, and that shot is wide.
Figueroa there wasting no time. Turning quickly, looking to shoot. He's just a little too far out, and the shot goes wide.
This is Zambrano Jr. Looks like he's trying to go long, and he does. Sends it out across midfield. Good touch by Schleiper, who had his jersey tugged. He's moving in. Kashenko got there, and the cross is sent in front, but there was nobody home for Molloy, and Schleiper is down. I think he and Kashenko may have bumped heads.
Schleiper took quite a dive there, and we'll see it here upcoming on the replay. As you can see that they do collide, and then you'll see that the ball was then still crossed over. So great job there as we take a look at the replay. So I'm not sure if they collided heads, but I think Schleiper's head went straight against the floor. He's getting up, not seeking any medical assistance, but he seems to be limping here.
Good hard play by Kashenko and Schleiper, both jockeying for position over the ball, and Schleiper was able to get the cross off. No attackers there.
You know, Jai, I took another look at the replay. It seemed that the cast there came into play, and that's potentially what he hit into. Obviously, that cast is wrapped pretty hard.
No doubt about that. I wondered on Wednesday what the situation would be if Kashenko went down on that cast. I'm not sure he'd be able to break his fall, and we've seen some very physical matches here this season so far. Wednesday's match between the Dolphins and Redhawks, chief among them with 8 yellow cards issued. Play resumes at 13:33 in the first half. Of course, that's the time remaining on the clock. No score between the Dolphins and the Lions. Men's soccer hoping to salvage a CSI split of today's ECC doubleheader. Molloy College women's soccer team picking up the win over Staten Island in our first game. Both teams were fighting for possession in the midfield, and the bounce favors Staten Island over the near sideline. Dolphins throw. Codicelli for Navarro, and immediately taking it away for the Lions. It's Velarde for Zambrano Jr. Now Blanco moving forward against Navarro. Dolphins will throw.
Brandon McGuire getting ready to check into the game here for the Dolphins.
Well, I thought the official pointed in the direction of Staten Island, but it appears as if the Lions have been awarded a free kick. So maybe he was pointing to the spot for the free kick taker. Because right now, lined up over the ball is Peter Meyer. He sends it into the box a long way. Dolphin got a head on it. Another Dolphin. That was Codicelli who got a head on it. Now Branco for Navarro. Navarro looking for Siegel. And once again, getting to it first was Mir. But Siegel continues to fight. And the throw-in belongs to Molloy.
Solid hustle there by Siegel, continuing to fight all the way down the field against the Lions player.
Working along the far sideline there was Schleiper. And the Lions are awarded the throw-in as he got tangled up with Eastman. They'll move the throw back a bit. Mir to take it. He surveys and throws toward the corner of the box. Eastman heads it right back up into the air, and Molloy will throw once again. Looks like we have another long throw attempt upcoming, and it's sent into the box, headed by Garcia onto the foot of Schleiper and cleared over the goal line by Staten Island. So another corner kick for the Lions. It will be their second.
10.5 minutes here, and both teams are playing very very well defensively here, keeping the opposition off the board.
I've already called myself Joe Stradamus once this year, and right ahead of kickoff, I said we might have a defensive matchup on our hands as that one is sent toward the near post and headed away by the Dolphins off of the Lions' corner. But Molloy keeping it in with a heel kick. And then the Dolphins, Milton Gonzalez allowed that one to roll down his back. And that's a risky way to try and get the ball out of the box. Ultimately inconsequential as the ball now back in the midfield with Molloy. And Eastman commits the foul on Garcia. He knew it.
Well, Joe, the Foreman formula had the game being close here today, but really it's just simple mathematics. But, math students make great soccer players because they sure know how to use their head.
Here comes Codicelli. He's moving forward. Plenty of space. He's into the attacking third.
Ooh.
And there's a foul on the tackle by Orlando Zambrano Jr.
Surprised no yellow card there, Joe.
Looks like Figueroa might be petitioning for one, though he was not the victim of the foul. See how far they move this one back. As Michael Rofel lined up over the ball. Looks like it's going to be a two-man wall for Molloy. Rofel getting ready to take this corner kick. I'm not sure the Lions have a plan in mind here. That one's sent toward the far post. And speaking of using your head, Nicholas Kashenko right in the middle of that play. Someone who's already found the back of the net on a header this year. Rofel heads straight over to Magnuson. Now Garcia has it taken away by the Dolphins. Magnuson wins it back. Garcia with a good ball into the center of the box. The flag goes up for offsides. He did find Blanco in the middle of the penalty area. No stoppage necessary as the Dolphins did gain possession after the flag went up. That's Gonzalez for Branco. Branco with a lot of room to work. He's moving forward, and he finds Figueroa. Figueroa for Rofel. Rofel looking for Diggs, and shielding Diggs off the ball nicely was Mir.
What's interesting to note there on the last play was that Coach Tardy was not happy with Hans Sebi there for not picking up the ball and playing it with his foot.
There's a whiff on the header by Kashenko. Here comes Magnuson. Magnuson against Gonzalez, and Milton Gonzalez showing why he was named today's captain for Staten Island as he closes the attacking lane off with a clearance, and we will have another Molloy corner.
The captain comes through clutch there to knock that ball out of play, and we will see here what the Lions plan to do on the corner kick.
That defensive play by Gonzalez had Hamza Zebi fired up in goal. Gave him an emphatic high five following that play.
Very reminiscent of your New York Knicks being very fired up after a big play.
Corner kick sent into the middle of the box, and Diggs sent it over. I thought Diggs sent it over, and it looks like he did. So they'll try the corner kick again from the same spot with the same corner kick taker.
Substitution for the Lions, number 8, Connor Gervasi, and number 10, and number 11, Gio Fabiano, replace number 14, Andy Blanco, and number 10, Jesse Schlepper. For the Dolphins, number 18, Brendan McGuire, and number 12, Javier Campos.
We're just taking in the substitutions here in the booth. Much easier to have a public address announcer do it for you rather than trying to figure it out all for ourselves as corner kick is sent toward the middle of the box. Getting a foot on it was one Lion, and another finds the back of the net. The first to get a foot on it was Connor Gervasi. He just checked in, so Gervasi will get the assist. And the second Lion, I believe, was number 25, Danny Mir,
And Joe, we'll look at the replay here.
It was.
But all the Dolphins calling for a handball there. So we'll see if we see anything on the replay.
They missed another one.
I do believe that the goal scorer did hit it with his hand. We'll slow it down, show you one more time here. But I think the Dolphins have a valid complaint there.
They missed that call as well. That is 2 critical handball calls that have gone against Staten Island. And it was Mir who scored the goal. Great camera work by Sean Fitzpatrick, making that an easy one. And I'll get a look at the replay as well and see what I believe the definitive call is on this play. Unfortunately,
we're gonna go to Chelsea for the review here. Bring out the Microsoft tablet, and Joe Foreman will make the call. And you got a great view there again. Great camera work by Sean, and on the nice slowed down replay, you might be able to get a definitive call here from Joe Foreman.
Well, I'll tell you right now, if they have the same reviewers in the league center that the NFL had on Thursday night making the call, I want no part of sending it to Chelsea, because they cost me a victory in that game with that touchdown they took away from Green Bay. I was very bitter after the close of that game. Siegel sends that one right off Javasi, and it's sent back the other way over the far sideline for a Dolphins throw. So with that break in the action, I'll try and get you the definitive call here. Siegel has it along the far sideline, so I'll look at this in just another minute once we have another stoppage. Here comes Siegel. Siegel moving forward into the center of the pitch. He gives it up to Figueroa. Figueroa looking for some space. Velarde's right there with him. And Figueroa is forced to send it back to Eastman. Now Kashenko for Codicelli. Codicelli able to work by Magnuson. Here comes Codicelli. Codicelli looking for McGuire, and a good job in the back by the Lions to intercept. But Codicelli staying with the play will try for McGuire again, and the Lions will clear. Ball headed by Garcia in the midfield circle. Gonzalez has Gio Fabiano right on him, and Gonzalez able to send it up the pitch for Siegel. Now Figueroa again. Siegel back to Figueroa. And Figueroa is looking for McGuire, but once again, Velarde is there waiting, and he will send it up the pitch towards Fabiano. And Eastman colliding with Gervasi. No whistle, and now the Dolphins have an attacking opportunity, as making the sliding tackle was Gervasi. Takes it away, and now the Lions possess it in midfield. Fabiano into the box, headed away by Kashenko, and now Eastman. Meyer working against Figueroa, and Siegel comes out of the pack with possession. This is Navarro. Now Branco along the near sideline. Branco for Navarro. Too much on that ball. And Zambrano Jr. will shield Navarro off of it. All right, so with that stoppage ahead of this goal kick, I'm going to get one more look at the goal. And that is really tough. I think the other call was much more clear-cut than that one, Nick. I'm not sure we're going to have a definitive opinion on this one.
So the call on the field stands. There's inconclusive evidence to overturn it. Not that the officials were looking to us anyway for review.
Much like on Thursday night, there was certainly no conclusive evidence to overturn that Packers touchdown, yet it happened. As I'm taking one more look now. Much like the situation before, Nick, it either caught the forearm or the thigh. Upon review on the first potential handball when the Dolphins were attacking, it was absolutely a handball. Dolphins certainly had a case here. It very well could have been a handball, but I think the person in the best position to make the call on it was either Gonzalez or Eastman, who were both right on top of the play as this free kick is sent into the box, off the fist of Hamza Zebi and over the touchline.
Just about a minute left here, Joe. Dolphins overall played pretty solid here in the first half. I'd be happy with the way they came out, pretty even here for the most part when it comes to corner kicks and shots, but maybe a missed call, then a lucky break, and that's the differential here at the score.
One call was certainly missed when the Dolphins were on the attack, but play has been tilted in favor of Molloy for a large portion of this first half. So saying the call was missed is not to take away from anything the Lions have done, as this corner kick is sent toward the far post, and winding up on the turf was Danny Meir. He was the goal scorer for the Lions. And the official having a word with Meir.
The clock has now stopped.
As well as a Dolphin. That might be Javier Campos. I know Campos was waiting to check in, and he is in the game. So Campos and Meir getting a talking to from the official. When play resumes, it will be another Lions corner kick. Jacobson lined up over the ball to take it. My final verdict on that last one, Nick, is no handball, as that's off of the crossbar, and I think the last player to contact it was a Dolphin. Or not, as the Lions are headed back out towards midfield to take their positions defensively, but I thought a Dolphin may have gotten ahead on that in front.
Right. I mean, most of the Lions are underage here, but the least favorite bar for a soccer player is by far the crossbar.
No doubt about that, as the crossbar, whenever it comes into any play, is your enemy. If it comes into play, it is certainly not helping you. As we will head into the halftime break, the College of Staten Island trailing Molloy College 1-0. When we come back, the last 45 minutes, potentially more, of today's East Coast Conference doubleheader here on CSI Sportsnet, now a proud part of the ECC Network.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. with indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
And with just a few seconds to spare, we are back ahead of the start.
All right, we're back.
The second half between the College of Staten Island and Molloy College. Dolphins trailing 1-0, entering half number 2.
And we'd like to send a congratulatory message out to our former colleague, Ricky Keeler, who has been working for Barrett Sports Media. The Rickinator is striking again on Twitter. We might see him back. You may remember him from his great commentary on soccer and basketball. Hopefully we get him back for the basketball season.
So that one is launched up the pitch, and getting a body on it was a Lion. And now Schleiper fighting for possession, but whistle blows and a foul is called. Well, if I remember correctly, it was you, myself, and Nick, or you, myself, and Ricky getting a call for one of the alumni games. Now, was that the game where I lost my voice, or was that just you and I? I think it was just you and
Just
I, right?
us, yes.
So Ricky, myself, and
We did do a game together, though, the three of us.
we did. As the Dolphins are able to slow down that attacking play and finally able to clear, but
I believe it was the day of the alumni game, but it was I think it was the actual games. I don't know if Ricky was there for the alumni game. I think the alumni game was just you and I.
I know there was one game that all three of us did, and it was an alumni game. I believe it was the men's alumni game, and then I lost my voice during the women's alumni game for basketball. So it remains to be seen if those events will be back this year, but if they are, perhaps we'll have the call for you once again on
Right.
Sportsnet.
At this point, we could also have an alumni Sportsnet day.
We sure could, but that's what the faculty staff game is for. Lions looking to move forward on the attack. Dolphins break up that attacking play once again. That's Mycoot up to McGuire. Here comes Navarro, and Zambrano Jr. takes it away from Navarro. Good ball there. And coming in is Schleiper, and I think Hamza Zebi took that one right off the chest. What a shot by Schleiper. A lot behind it, and Hamza Zebi took it square in the chest.
Schleiper with an absolute rocket, as you see here on the replay. Hamza Zebi makes a great save there right off the chest.
A shot to the sternum. That was a powerful shot by Schleiper.
Shot to the heart, and Schleiper's to blame.
He sure is. As Hamza Zebi took that one like a champ. Didn't even flinch. Right back up to his feet. Ready for a potential rebound. As the Dolphins trying to clear, and Eastman just got rid of it in time. That's Jamali Peterson working against Jacobson. Peterson on the pitch for the first time.
Peterson also very smart, rocking the gloves. I love to see it.
Prior to this season, I'm not sure I'd ever seen a player other than a goalkeeper wearing gloves. Last two matches, 3 different Dolphins sporting the mitts. Peterson tried to get ahead on it, but it winds up with McGuire. McGuire from Mycoot. Mycoot moving in. Mycoot toward the top of the box, center of the pitch. Gives it up to Peterson, and that ball too far in front of Peterson. But the Dolphins in the midfield do win possession back. Here comes Campos. Campos will shoot, and that is well high off the top of the netting behind goal.
Yeah, it looked like the Dolphins certainly were trying to shoot there, but ultimately got too far forced, heading towards the far sideline, unable to get a clean shot off, ended up with the pass, and ultimately could not get a shot on goal there on that possession.
Goal kick for Molloy. Just under 4 minutes into the second half, Lions lead 1-0. Both teams battling in the midfield, and the Lions have it at the moment. That is definitely a foul against Mykoot. No argument from Patrick, and it will be a free kick from Molloy. Meyer to take it for the Lions. And he moves the ball up just a bit.
Meyer looking to get a competitive advantage here.
Long ball sent toward goal. Wind knocking it down. And there was nobody home for the Lions on that play.
The wind is certainly howling here, Joe, and it's going to be a factor from here on out.
I had to provide our camera operator with my hoodie during the halftime break. It is getting cold here in the booth. I can only imagine what it's like up there on the roof.
A very nice CSI Dolphins athletics hoodie at that.
Only the best in terms of athletic apparel here, as that one is sent on goal. And for the Dolphins, that is shot on goal number 4. The attempt by Codicelli, saved by Conclu. Lions have it along the near sideline. It's chipped up in the air, and it comes down with the Dolphins. Now possession with Molloy. Once again, they're moving forward onto the attack. Cross headed away by Kishenko. Figueroa was there waiting for it. Gives it up to Mykoot. Mykoot for Navarro. Navarro to Campos, and now Codicelli. Peterson to Campos, and now Peterson moving forward, but that pass too far in front of him.
Peterson trying to make something happen here with his speed, but just unable to catch up to that pass.
Throw-in upcoming for Molloy as we approach the 38:45 mark in half number 2. This is Magnuson for Schleiper, and Gonzalez is there first. Gonzalez up to Peterson, able to thread that ball along the far sideline, but Magnuson has it again, and he takes it over the touchline for a Dolphins throw. Codicelli will throw it. This is Magnuson being challenged by McGuire. Now Meyer. Back to Velarde. Velarde sends one up ahead. Schleiper was the closest Lion, but it goes right to Codicelli, who sends it up to Peterson, and now Peterson has lost possession. In moves Magnuson. He gave it up. Now Garcia with it. Garcia against Eastman. He takes it down toward the touchline, and I think that was partially blocked. It was. It will be a corner kick.
Another corner kick here for the Lions. This will be their 7th of the game. And the last time they had the corner kick, ultimately it led to a few scoring chances.
Right now, corners 7-4 in favor of Molloy. Shots 8-5 in favor of Molloy. Shots on goal 5-1 Molloy. Corner kick by Jacobson near post, and Garcia moved right past the ball. He couldn't get a foot on it. Dolphins are able to take it out of the box. Now looking to clear, and Figueroa does. That's Zambrano Jr. sending it high up into the air. Blanco and Mykoot were tangled up, and Dolphins last to touch it. Lions will throw. It's Garcia working against a pair of Dolphins. Muscles his way through. The ball for Schleiper, a bit off target, but Schleiper able to come away with it and sends one off the base of the scoreboard.
Schleiper shoots that one nowhere near the keeper as it goes off the scoreboard. Easy way there for the Dolphins to end a Lions attack.
Good effort there from the Lions on that attacking sequence to work their way out of a double team along the near sideline and then power their way into the center of the pitch and get a shot off. Looked like the Dolphins had the advantage defensively in that situation. As this is Hamzazebi up to Eastman. Eastman for Navarro. He's being challenged, may have taken a push from behind. Lions take possession. They had numbers, and it's on to the foot of Blanco. Now Garcia cross for the far post. Nobody home. Shot across. Goal is just wide.
Crisscross applesauce there for the Lions. One cross one way, one cross back the other way, but nobody's home. And the ball will go back to the Dolphins here on a goal kick.
I was always an applesauce guy myself when I was younger.
Me too, but yeah, I like the one with the cinnamon in it. The plain, I don't really care for as much.
It has been years since I had one of those plastic Mott's applesauce cups.
Very good with pork chops.
Probably 20 years if I had to guess. As the Dolphins have possession now along the near sideline. Maikut working against two Lions. He is dispossessed quickly. This is Blanco working against Campos. Now Meyer sends it up towards Schleiper, but Gonzalez is there waiting. Gonzalez into the midfield circle. And he sends one straight to the Lions' keeper, Conklou, who immediately rolls it away to Velarde. Velarde goes long. It stays in play for now. And it will be a Lions throw. And I'm not sure about that call, to put it mildly. The Dolphins bench didn't agree. It's a Lions throw. And I apologize for that pause, as I was certain that was a Dolphins throw-in.
Seems like the Dolphins today, Joe, just cannot catch a break when it comes to the officiating.
I'd have to agree with you there, though they did petition for a handball on the Lions' goal. There was no handball on that play. That was a clean goal, no doubt. But when the Dolphins were on the attack at the other end, there was absolutely a handball on the Lions. That was not called in front of the Molloy net. And now Garcia moving forward, has some space in front of him, looking to cross. And that may have been a shot attempt, as he nearly tucked it inside of the far post.
Garcia blazing fast down the field there. I'm pretty sure that was a shot attempt from what I could see. And just goes a little bit wide of the post.
How many times have we said Kenneth Garcia's name since he's checked into the game?
So apparently that went off a CSI defender. I didn't catch that, but it's going to be a Lions corner kick here.
You know, I didn't either. As Magnuson takes the corner kick, travels a long way outside of the box. Blanco clears it back in the other direction. Peterson waits for it to come down. And now the Dolphins working it from one sideline to the other. Here comes McGuire. CSI bench beginning to make some noise. Cross right on target. And Campos just a step too late.
McGuire, great job there to cross that right into the center. Campos just a step too late, as you mentioned there. Could have been the best Dolphins chance for a goal here today.
It will be a goal kick for Molloy. And once again, the temperature falling, the sky getting darker, and time continues to run off the clock with the Dolphins trailing 1-0. CSI looking for an equalizer, perhaps more, as we've already seen this men's team go into overtime on 3 separate occasions here at home this year. 2 ties and a victory coming in those 3 double overtime results. If Molloy holds on by this score, it will be The second shutout of the day for Lions soccer. The women of Molloy picking up a shutout, went over Staten Island earlier. There's a good move by Schleiper. His shot is saved by Hamza Zebi. Schleiper chipped it in the air to himself to avoid the challenge and was able to get a quality shot off him in close.
3 times now, Schleiper has been stopped by the keeper. He's doing a great job here, getting shots on net.
Throw in for the Dolphins along the far sideline. This is Peterson for Gonzalez. Gonzalez looking for Mykoot. It's sent up in the air by the Lions. 2 Dolphins converge, and it's headed back onto the foot of Mykoot, who's working against 2 challenges, and it's sent back the other way by Molloy, but Hamza Zebi didn't get all of that one. Shanked it right into the Dolphins bench.
Certainly reminiscent of some shanked punts we have seen in football this season.
Throw in by Molloy. Taking over the top of the Dolphins defense. Garcia is onside. He is fighting to keep possession. He does. Cross by Garcia. He had Schleiper waiting, but Koshenko was there.
Heads up play there by Koshenko to clear that one.
Heads up play literally as he used the head to clear it out of danger. And now the Lions have it in the midfield. This is Jacobson being harassed by McGuire. And a good tackle there by McGuire. Here he comes the other way. Jacobson looking to take possession back, and he does, but McGuire continues to battle.
And for the first time today, we have the freezing fans here getting a little pumped up here, seeing glimmers of hope here for a Dolphins goal.
Nothing wakes a cold and at times dormant crowd up like a goal by the home squad, and the Dolphins hoping they can find the back of the net and get even in the final 29 minutes and 10 seconds. Before they can do that, a free kick will be taken by the Lions, and it's sent out across midfield. Cotticelli got a head on it, and the Lions will throw in.
That ball went right over the fence and splashed right into a big puddle. So good job by our ball runners today navigating the wet conditions.
Dolphins turn it over in their own zone, and the clock was stopped at 28:41. It will be a free kick for Molloy when play resumes, and I think Eastman was just shown the yellow card. I'm not sure why.
For the Dolphins, for Tariq Eastman, number 27.
So Tariq Eastman is shown the yellow. Now, I'm not sure if they got him for a foul or did they get him for handball, because he wasn't involved in the play. Maybe it was off the ball. He committed a foul. Unfortunately, my laptop is in between the window panes, so I'm navigating around that side to side to get a good view of the action. Nonetheless, a free kick for Kenneth Garcia and the Lions at 28:41 in the second half. Molloy looking to put some more distance between themselves and CSI. Garcia's free kick on the way. Shot attempt is high.
Good idea there, though, by the Lions to take the straight-on shot. Unfortunately for them, it sailed right over the goalpost and did not make its way onto net.
Ball deep in the corner of the Lions zone as Jacobson will send it way back in the other direction. Schleiper got a head on it, but it's right onto the foot of Campos. Campos moving toward the near sideline, sends it over to Eastman. Up to Mykoot. And Mykoot turns it over. Here comes Schleiper working around Koshenko. Schleiper with the shot. And not enough on that one. And it was also well wide.
Schleiper just cannot get anything on that there, going off balance to his left. And the shot goes out of bounds, and we will have a goal kick.
Dolphins substitution, number 9, Samuel Gonzaga replaces number 23, Bryant Navarro.
So Samuel Gonzaga will check in for the Dolphins to replace Bryant Navarro. Following that last play, John Tardy was not happy with Mykoot about the turnover. He was screaming from the bench. As the Dolphins quickly give it right back to the Lions yet again. This is Mykoot pursuing Magnuson toward the far sideline. Now Jacobson for Magnuson. Magnuson facing some strong challenges from the Dolphins. Again, has to give it up. And Velarde now has it in the back for Molloy. Velarde to Mir. And Mir quickly sends it over the near sideline for a Dolphins throw. Eastman with the throw toward McGuire, headed away by Velarde. Gonzaga next to get ahead on it for Staten Island. But the Dolphins can't keep possession, as giving chase once again was Schleiper, but Hamzazebi is there waiting.
It seems like every time the Lions touch the ball, it's ultimately ending with Schleiper coming close or making contact with the ball every single possession.
Their attacking plays have often ended with the ball on the foot of Schleiper. And they tried to make that the case yet again on that last attacking play, as we'll have another Dolphins throw. Now inside of 26 minutes to play in half number 2. This has been a back and forth affair to this point. Several categories slightly favoring the Lions, but an even matchup despite that, as now Molloy has a chance, and losing the ball was Meyer in the midst of a couple of Dolphins. CSI now coming back on the attack in the other direction. That's Mykoot for McGuire, and that ball off target as Zambrano Jr. will let it roll over the touchline for a Lions goal kick. Lions look like they're going to retrieve a ball from behind the net. And Conklu will send it up the pitch.
25 minutes left in this one.
Seems like the sky is getting darker with each passing minute. I know we don't want to break down in the rain, that these players prefer not to play under rainfall, and I think they're preparing some post-game food options in the corner. You don't want the food to get wet either.
No, certainly not. I think that's the utmost importance for a lot of these players who might be hungry after they hopefully come away with victory.
Men's soccer gets a chance to refuel after every home game. Family members of the team often prepare some very good food, if I say so myself, down in the corner at the end of the bleachers. And the team gets to enjoy some of that after each home game. And Dolphins hoping that it will be alongside them celebrating a victory.
That's for sure, Joe. It does look like the rain is imminent. I'd be surprised if we don't get a shower here by the end of this game. So we'll see how the fans in the stands handle that, and more importantly, our videographer, Sean, who's up top on the roof. And, of course, the players, it won't be an issue for them. They've played in the rain plenty of times.
Well, the wind advantage right now is with Staten Island, as on this free kick, it's a low one, sent toward the middle of the box, and the Dolphins are able to take possession. Mykoot trying to keep it with CSI. He can't. It's headed up in the air. Now the two teams fighting for it. Ball being headed back and forth. And ultimately it is Garcia who receives the pass. Possession with the Lions. He sends one toward goal. And Hamzazebi will let it bounce over the touchline. But you said it, Nick. It appears as if rainfall is imminent. And if the rain gets serious enough, I will continue the call. We might not have a video feed for a couple of minutes as we relocate the camera inside. And we'll see if that's necessary, as that shot is sent high by Blanco.
Well, the good thing for our viewers here is that you are very descriptive and you paint a great picture, quite like Bob Ross, and they will not miss much. They can just close their eyes, visualize, We have a player down here. It looks like, I think his cleat separated. It looks like his teammate is taping his cleat back on.
We had a shoe separation the other night during the Knicks game when the Knicks were in Chicago. Mitchell Robinson had his shoe split open in the middle of the sole. Not exactly a ringing endorsement of the Nike product that he was wearing during that game.
I remember Zion Williamson a few years ago at Duke had the same issue. He was out for months. Me personally, this past spring before the first Unmighty Ducks softball game of the year, put my cleats on, took one step beyond my car, and the sole, the bottom of the shoe came detached from the sole, so I had to switch cleats.
Good thing you had a backup plan. As when I played one game with the Unmighty Ducks last year, I didn't have cleats, so I was running along the infield dirt in basketball sneakers.
Yes, we played about 100 feet from here, right behind us at Willowbrook Park.
That's Cotticelli for Gonzaga. And now Eastman. If the Dolphins want to see this game come to an end and avoid the rainfall, their best chance to do it would be to score a pair in the next 22 minutes.
Yeah, I think overtime here would be quite the messy situation with the impending rainfall.
The Lions, of course, hoping to keep this shutout intact and move to, I believe, what would be 9-6-2 on the season. The Dolphins hope to have something to say about that as Conclu is able to dive on top of that ball. Goal kick coming for the Lions, and a punt from their keeper. Travels across midfield, and Maiku was fouled probably more than once there by Garcia.
Definitely some entanglement there by Maiku, courtesy of Garcia.
So it would be 9-6-2 for the Lions overall with a victory. 4-2-1, their current record in conference, so 5-2-1 in ECC play if they were to win this match with CSI. Staten Island has it, the ball with Milton Gonzalez. He sends it across midfield onto the foot of Maiku. Now Gonzaga for Figueroa. Figueroa left-footed shot is wide.
It's been the story of the game here for the Dolphins. Anytime they, or a lot of times when they're getting close, they are doing the right thing and taking the shot, but everything's going wide.
Gio Fabiano checking back in for the Lions, replacing Jesse Schleeper, who still hobbled along the near sideline, gingerly makes his way to the bench. Here come the Lions on the attack once again. This is Garcia. He has been busy at this end of the field, and there's a stiff arm from Milton Gonzalez. Garcia goes down. He is staying down. Dolphins have a one-man advantage here, and the Lions will clear to get Garcia some attention. So for the Dolphins, if they were to lose today's match, they would drop to 3-10-2 on the season. The Dolphins have not had double digits in the loss column since all the way back in 2013. So it has been quite some time since the Dolphins have lost 10 games. They went 9-11-1 in the 2013 season.
Joe, it's back when you were a student, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been quite some time here. Obviously, Dolphins have been playing against the best competition ever in program's history, I would say. So before you can get to successful, clear rainbow roads, you have to go through these dark, cloudy times and days. But ultimately, the program is growing through these tough early matchups here in Division II in the ECC.
Today, literally one of those dark and cloudy days at Dolphin Soccer Park, and it took a turn fairly quickly as we had clear skies and sunlight here at the College of Staten Island at halftime. That is not the case right now as the sky progressively gets darker with each passing minute. And now, with an injury timeout and 19:28 on the clock, it's possible we are moving closer and closer to imminent rainfall. Back in that 2013 season, I mentioned the 9-11-1 record for the Dolphins. They won 5 of their last 6 that year and made it to the CUNYAC semifinals. Of course, the CUNYAC, CSI's former conference, as NCAA Division III members.
And Joe, what is left of the CUNYAC these days? Are they going to combine with another conference? Because it doesn't seem like they have many teams to field a competitive conference, and especially with basketball, I don't think they're eligible anymore to get an automatic bid to a tournament based on the number of teams they have.
You know, that's a good question. I know that the CUNYAC was considering a transformation, perhaps specializing in specific sports. But I'm taking a look at the CUNYAC website right now, and I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but looks like they're getting set for the start of a CUNYAC soccer tournament. So CUNYAC soccer, anyway, is still very much intact. And, of course, the CUNYAC, a big part of CSI's history as an athletic program, and Dolphins won many championships as a member of that conference. If you take a look back at our website last year, there's still a scrolling banner in the middle of our homepage. You can remember the legacy, a look back at CSI's tenure in Division III.
And Joe, it is officially raining here. The umbrellas are out, and our camera feed is getting a little foggy and wet, so we apologize for that, but not much we can do about that at this point.
So if this rain persists for another couple of minutes or begins to get very bad, I will stay with you on the call. Nick will help, Sean get the camera down at the very least. We'll get it moved here into the booth as the Lions have an opportunity on the attack here, but the flag is up for offsides as Gio Fabiano was a step ahead of the Dolphins' back line, and flag went up right away from the lines judge. But right now the rain appears to be very mild, a bit of a drizzle. We'll see if that's still the case in the next few minutes, and if the conditions here at the College of Staten Island worsen, we will have to pull our camera off of the roof.
Great job by Sean there to clean the lens, so we apologize for the blackness for one moment, but our videographer doing all he can with the conditions here so you can still see the action here on the pitch.
We have 18 minutes to play, so we need this rain to lighten up as Mykoot just lost it along the touchline.
Many fans exiting the stands, and it looks like Molloy College player getting some serious work on his knee on the sidelines. I think that's Jesse Schleiper, who came out earlier limping.
Conclu takes the goal kick, sends it out toward midfield. 2 Dolphins collide over it. Mykoot and Gonzaga coming together, but CSI does come away with possession. It's Codicelli for Figueroa. Figueroa back to Gonzalez. Over to Campos. Campos sends it up to Figueroa. Figueroa trying to keep possession, working against Meyer, and the Lions converge around him. He had nowhere to go, and Molloy takes possession right back. Velarde across midfield for Fabiano. This is Laia Vittel, and Laia Vittel sends it over the near sideline for a Dolphins throw. That will bring Shane Siegel back into the game.
Number 10, Shane Siegel.
The wind certainly picking up here with this bitter cold, and Joe, I think your signature CSI Dolphins scarf may come in handy here, if only our videographer Sean had one upstairs.
If we were down on the pitch along the near sideline without the comfort of the press box, I would certainly be brandishing that Dolphins scarf proudly right now. But the last time I wore it, it was alongside Tom Kuchkowski on the call of a Dolphins match. And when we went off the air, Dave, joking around with Tom and I, called us a bunch of homers, saying we looked too much like CSI supporters that belonged in the stands. So wouldn't want to be accused of being a homer while I'm on the call.
Again, folks, if you keep seeing fingers come across your screen, it's because our videographer Sean is trying to clean the lens, which keeps getting wet.
Unfortunately, he is not covered. And Sean really shouldering a heavy burden today up there on the roof. He's been soldiering through, and he was rewarded handsomely with a chicken roll at halftime.
You definitely don't want Sean to be on video when he's hungry.
Definitely not. I rewarded myself with a chicken parm hero and a chicken vodka roll, I should add. So I came into the second half fully energized as more and more umbrellas begin to pop up in front of us here in the press box.
I believe if we do end up ultimately going to overtime, we will most likely have to move the cameraman into the booth.
Oh, we'll certainly move him. If we get to overtime and it is still raining, the camera will come down to the booth for sure.
So
we'll have a few minutes.
We'll see here with 14 and a half minutes left.
Dolphins may have a chance here. And the Dolphins supporters wanted a foul. The Dolphins bench wanted a foul as Peterson was pulled down to the turf. At least he claims he was. And it's so tough to tell how much of it is embellishment and how much of that was legitimately caused by Peterson getting tugged to the turf. But Peterson went down, and that shut down the Dolphins' goal-scoring chance. Ball sent into the Molloy bench by Staten Island. Lions will throw. 14 minutes remaining in the second half. Dolphins looking for an equalizer. The Lions trying to hold on to a one-goal lead. It's Gonzalez for Figueroa. Figueroa back to Rofale, and Rofale gets held a bit. And the whistle does blow. Free kick for the Dolphins. Rofale sent it into no man's land, and Laya Vittel almost got there first ahead of Kishenko. Here comes Codicelli along the far sideline. Codicelli crosses center of the box, headed away by Zambrano Jr. Here comes Fabiano. He nearly got to it ahead of any Dolphin, but it winds up with Gonzalez, who sends it back to his keeper. Clock ticks down towards 13 minutes to play as Gonzalez sends it long. Velarde is there waiting. He gets ahead on it. Now Magnuson into the midfield circle. He's met by Gonzaga. Gonzaga takes it away. Nice move there to avoid the challenge from Meyer. And Gonzaga receives it back from Peterson. Now Campos got a foot on it. It's up in the air, back onto the foot of Campos. Now Gonzaga sends one toward the far post where Peterson was the nearest Dolphin, but it's grabbed out of the air by Conclu. .28 on the clock. Time running out on the Dolphins. Looking for an equalizing goal as the Lions now have it along the near sideline. Siegel and Campos defending, and I think Siegel got away with a push there, but he quickly turns the ball over. Another chance for Blanco now. Siegel coming back to challenge yet again. This is Fabiano. Fabiano has it knocked away by Gonzalez, but once again Molloy will throw.
Got to see how the pitch holds up here. It's obviously getting a little more slick. We'll see if that neutralizes the Dolphins' speed, which they will certainly need here as they look for the equalizer with about 11 and a half minutes remaining in the game.
All it takes is the wrong player to go down on that slick turf one time, and it could create a goal-scoring chance for either side. And right now, if you're Staten Island, a goal would tie up the score. The Lions content to watch the clock wind down. They have to get through the next 11-15 without allowing a goal, and they will come away with the win. Jonas Jacobson to attempt the corner. His corner kick is on the way. Headed away by Figueroa. That ball rolling toward the near sideline. And it finds the foot of Magnuson. Now Velarde sends it up into the air, into the box. And Cotticelli was battling Fabiano. But I believe we either had an offsides or a handball.
I believe that was a handball, Joe. It looked like from this angle that the Molloy player did, in fact, touch that with the back of his hand. Gio Fabiano, I believe.
I think you're right, Nick. I think that was a handball. I saw that myself, but never certain when you hear the whistle blow unless it's very obvious what the call is. It's so tough to tell from up here. As Campos unable to bring that pass in, and it travels over the near sideline. So with 10 minutes to play, the Dolphins still trail by a single goal.
A fan in front of us is shouting to stop the clock. Not sure why, though.
Late in the game, the clock does stop on substitutions. Now, I believe that's only the last 5 minutes. But the way the Dolphins bench was looking up toward the press box, it looked like they wanted the clock stopped as well.
Something for us to keep an eye on here in the last 9 minutes and 20 seconds of this game.
Another throw-in upcoming for Molloy as the clock winds down towards 9 minutes to play. Dolphins haven't had really any time on the attack in the last few minutes as that's headed toward the middle of the box. Laia Vittel was there waiting, but Cotticelli manages to clear it around him. Good defensive play there by Cotticelli as that's sent toward the box, knocked away by Staten Island once again. Foul called against the Lions, and that could be the opening the Dolphins are looking for. Quick free kick taken by Staten Island as Peterson was looking for a teammate right next to him. There was no one there.
Looks like Jesse Schleeper for the Lions is getting set to check back in the game. Perhaps Lions looking to end this one with another goal.
Substitution coming on for Molloy. As you said, Nick, Jesse Schleeper coming in. He replaces Gio Fabiano. 8:10 on the clock. Lions to throw once again. Bryant Navarro waiting at midfield to check in for Staten Island. Ball in the air, just outside the midfield circle. Garcia had it come down onto his foot, but Eastman was able to send it up to Diggs. Nothing comes of that. Touch by Diggs. And now the ball in the midfield once again. Blanco toward a pair of Lions. Garcia got a heel on it. But the Dolphins are headed back in the other direction, and Gonzaga with a strong play over the ball. Gonzaga for Siegel, and Velarde able to shield Siegel off the ball. Another goal kick for Molloy.
Dolphins here sensing that there's not much time left here.
Dolphin substitution number 23, Brian Navarro, enters the game for number 13, Brendan Figueroa.
Navarro for Figueroa with 7 minutes to play in the second half. Dolphins still trail by a goal. The lone goal in this match came off of a rebound for Molloy. First shot partially blocked, and then onto the foot of the goal scorer. That was Danny Meir. Gonzaga working along the near sideline for Staten Island, and he has it knocked away and over the touchline. Dolphins took the throw, and immediately it is sent back over to the near side and
knocked over some beverage containers there on the table.
Well, the clock is still running. valuable seconds ticking away as they'll move Eastman back. They'll now change the thrower to make it Navarro. Eastman went from about to throw it in to coming off.
Entering the game for the Dolphins, number 14, Stephen Bronco. He replaces number 27, Tarek Eastman.
Stephen Branco checks in. Here comes Rofail with it, and he was looking for Branco, but has that pass broken up. Now the Lions moving forward on the attack. This is Blanco. Sends it towards Schleiper. Schleiper, surrounded by Dolphins, works his way through. His shot is saved by Hamza Zebi.
Nice job there once again by Hamza Zebi to make a great save and keep this game right where it is.
Hamza Zebi has been tested quite often in this game. That shot on goal was number 8.
As you see the replay there.
For Molloy. Not only has he been tested, but some of these shots from in close have been rockets. Can't be understated how Hamza Zebi stood in there and faced those laser beams from in close as Dolphins will look to receive a goal kick, and working his way out of the corner was Blanco. Dolphins drew the foul, and it will be a free kick to be taken by Hamza Zebi down in the corner. Dolphins keeper sends it out toward midfield. Laya Vittel first to get a foot on it, but the Dolphins do take possession as Branco is there looking for Diggs. Diggs giving chase, and that's sent back the other way by the Lions, and now a 3-on-3 developing for Molloy. This is Garcia. Garcia sends it around Kashenko, but nothing more to that attacking play. As the Dolphins keeper sends it across midfield where Larry Diggs is whistled for the foul. Just over 3.5 minutes to go in half number 2. Dolphins still trailing 1-0, and time running out. As that one is launched down into the corner, Laya Vittel gets there. Cotticelli is there defensively as well. And that is crossed into the box, headed by Blanco, and I think the Lions wanted a handball call.
They certainly did. That is for sure.
Let's cue it up and get another look, as right now on the attack for the Dolphins, Rofail has it. Navarro in the attacking third, and Garcia shoulders him off the ball and clears.
We'll see the replay here. Very tough to see because there is some water on the lens there.
For the Dolphins, number 21, Patrick Machuk enters the game for number
Interested to see this throw in here,
Michael
the one-handed throw in, based on the cast here.
Long throw. Sent back toward the center of the pitch. It's a foot race. And Gonzaga and Laya Vittel both meeting over the ball. Clock is stopped. And I think we're going to have a yellow card if the yellow card was not already shown. There it is. Laya Vittel is issued the yellow. And that gives the Dolphins a free kick and a good spot here.
So what would your strategy be here, Joe, on this kick? I think you have to take it straight to the net.
Man, it often depends on who you have lined up over the ball. Gonzalez, a backer, is lined up over the ball. That leads me to believe the Dolphins probably aren't looking to shoot. But I could be completely wrong. They've often looked for Kashenko on headers in spots like this. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Dolphins make a pass off of this.
I think they're going to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case either. I don't think that Gonzalez would attempt a shot. So I think you can cross that option off the list here. I think it's either a cross toward the far post or perhaps a pass to Cotticelli on his right, with Cotticelli then moving in to try and either cross it or shoot. And I think that was a shot, Nick.
I think so.
So you can't cross that option off the list. We haven't seen Gonzalez attempt many free kicks this year, but the Dolphins give him the chance to shoot one with just over 2 minutes to play.
We're now at the 2-minute warning here.
Dolphins running out of time is now Schleiper moving in, and Hamzazebi with the save. Schleiper is down, so if the Dolphins can get moving quickly, I thought they would have a chance.
Lions screaming. How is that not a foul? How is that not a foul? We will check the replay right now, and we'll see if there's any sort of foul there. And I don't see any foul there. I just think after he shot, he ran into the Dolphins defender and ended up falling.
So Schleiper is back to his feet. That's the second time he's gone down this game.
A minute and 43 seconds here. Time is not the Dolphins' side. They'll have to move quickly.
Codicelli sends it across midfield. It's knocked up in the air by Molloy, and now Peterson sends it up to Siegel. Siegel, the move toward the center of the pitch, sends one into the box. Gonzaga and Branco were pursuing it, but they don't get there. And with 1:20 to go, the Dolphins at most now will likely get one last chance.
Lions here will certainly take their time. Off the goal kick. See if he switches, goes to the furthest side of the box, of course. And we have 1 minute remaining here in this game.
1 minute left. Minute left remaining in the game.
1 minute remaining. Goal kick sent out across midfield, and now the Lions may have a chance to add one more. Here comes Schleiper being pursued by Kishenko. Schleiper takes it into the corner and will let some time run off the clock. Dolphins surrounding Schleiper. He gets pulled down, and CSI able to dislodge the ball. Here come the Dolphins. One last chance. As getting a foot in there was Ali Murch. He sends it back the other way. Gonzalez went down in the box.
Clock stops 2 seconds later here, and we'll see what happens as Gonzalez looks to have potentially rolled his ankle, it looks like.
Yeah, he tried to get up and continue, but not looking too good for him as he limps toward the top of the box. John Tardy wanted that clock stopped sooner. Well, I'm listening in right now to the Molloy bench. And we'll see who's awarded the ball. Molloy bench saying we're not giving the ball back. It's definitely red ball. Well, it looks like it's going to be a drop ball. And the Lions just clear it over the near sideline. And it rolls out of the complex. And that should do it.
Maybe that was the strategy there for the Lions, coach.
If it was the strategy, it worked pretty well because they sent that ball straight through the opening in the fence and into the parking lot as the Lions will pick up the victory in this East Coast Conference matchup. The College of Staten Island falls by a score of 1-0. And for Molloy College, they come into Dolphin Soccer Park and earn a sweep of today's doubleheader. The women winning their match by a score of 6-0, and the men defeating the men of CSI by a score of 1-0. Nick, before we sign off, what are some of your last takeaways from today's doubleheader?
Well, I mean, in this game, unlucky break there early on for the Dolphins without the handball being called. That was in the box, so the Dolphins, of course, would have had a penalty kick. No guarantees, obviously, that they would have made it in, but could have been a whole different ball game because the Dolphins could have went up 1-0. The takeaway here is maybe that fence should be closed for the next game because I really think that was a strategy exploitation there by Molloy, and that's why they kept screaming, kick it into the corner, we're not giving the ball back. Overall today, we are lucky that for the most part, the weather did hold up and we were able to get both games in.
Well, for the sake of our camera operator, Sean Fitzpatrick, we'll bring this broadcast to a close right here as we see our lens appearing a bit fogged up and wet along the bottom of our screen. So for everyone here at the College of Staten Island, this has been Joe Foreman alongside Nick Durst. We thank you for watching today's broadcast. Our final score in our women's game, Molloy College defeats the College of Staten Island 6-0. In this, the men's game, Molloy College picks up the 1-0 victory. Our next broadcast will be on Thursday at 3 p.m. when the College of Staten Island takes on Caldwell University.